Okay, Latin 2. Last week, as you know, Cephalus, who had delivered this poisoned cup which was supposed to assassinate Cogidubnus, instead was forced to drink the cup himself when Quintus recognized it as a poison cup. But now, as we move forward, we are now going to learn that Cephalus left an insurance policy of sorts. He anticipated the possibility that he wanted, in the end, for Cephalus to know what actually went on. He did not want to be part of this. He was forced to be part of this plot. This actually started with Salvius, who then tasked Memor, who then tasked Cephalus. And Cephalus, we're going to learn, sent a letter describing the entire plot to Cogidubnus. And so we begin. Postquam Cephalus periit, servus eius regi epistulam tradidit, a Cephalo ipso scriptam. Postquam, after Cephalus periit, after Cephalus perished. Servus eius, his slave. What did his slave do? Run to your verb, tradidit. Handed over. Now look for your direct object. He handed over, here's your accusative direct object. He handed over a letter, and now we're going to have a dative ending here. He handed over a letter to the king. Now, this letter is going to be described with a past participle, scriptam. Written. So, scriptam is describing epistulam. He handed over a letter to the king, written a Cephalo ipso, by Cephalus himself. Here's the letter. Rex Cogidubne, in maximo periculo es. King Cogidubnus. This is a vocative ending. This is a typo, ignore it. It should be King Cogidubnus. You are, es, the word es means you are. It's frequently mistaken for est, which means he, she, or it is. King Cogidubnus, you are in maximo periculo, in the greatest danger. Memor insanit, Memor is insane. Mortem tuam cupit, he wants. Now, you've learned cupit as a vocabulary item that just means he wants. You also know the verb volo, which means to want. The difference between the two is volo is to want to do an action. Cupit is to want a thing. So in this case, the direct object of cupit is mortem. He wants your death. Iussit me rem efficere. He ordered. He ordered, here's the direct object. And then when you have iussit, to order, you order someone to do something. And of course we know that the infinitive is the form of the thing to do. He ordered me to carry out the matter. Invitus Memori parui. Unwilling. Now, I've put the ly in parentheses because invitus is an adjective that just means unwilling. He's describing himself as doing an action while being in the state of being unwilling to do that action. But in a situation like this, very frequently the best thing to do is to turn it into an adverb. Here's your main verb. The I ending on a perfect tense verb means I did the action. Unwillingly, I obeyed Memor. Now this I is the dative ending, and that is because the verb pareo, parere, parui, to obey, takes a dative object. Remember back in stage 11, you encountered also dative objects with two verbs, the verb fauet, to support, and the verb credit, to believe or to trust. Those verbs also took dative objects. And guess what? Here's another example. We have the verb credit in the you form, of course, credis, you believe. Perhaps, fortasse, you do not believe me. Now, mihi, in most contexts, you would translate it to me or for me. But remember, once again, this is like a little lesson in verbs that take dative objects. This verb, credis, along with fawet, and now we've learned the verb to obey, parere, take dative objects. And so instead of you do not believe to me, you just say, perhaps you do not believe me. Sed totam rem tibi narrare velim. But we had velim last week, you may recall, and I told you in that video that you should just memorize the word velim as a vocabulary item. It comes up fairly commonly, but I would like, velim, I would like. You can expect that there's going to be a quiz question which is just simply velim, and the answer is I would like. What I would like to do is expressed with an infinitive. And again, of course, infinitives all end in re. I would like to tell the whole matter to you. I would like to tell, narrare, the whole matter, totam rem, to you, tibi. Now, feel free. You can turn this into a little more natural English. Here'd be an option. I would like to tell you the whole matter. Ubi tu ad has termas advenisti remedium quaerens, memor me ad villam suam quam celeri me arcesivit. Okay, let's start translating. Ubi. Remember, ubi can mean when or where. Sometimes you want to try out the two possibilities. Here, when is going to work most nicely. Ubi tu, when you. Run to your verb, people. Run to the end of this clause, advenisti. When you arrived. When you arrived where? Now, ad frequently, of course, would be translated to. Here you could tweak it a little bit. When you arrived at these baths. Remedium quaerens. Take a moment. Think about it, people. Quaerit means looks for. What do you do when a word that looks like a verb has an ns ending? I hope by now you know ns, nt, equals ing. When you arrived at these baths seeking a remedy or looking for a remedy, what did Memor do? Once again, run to your verb. Your verb is so frequently found at the end. Memor summoned me. Where did he summon me? And in what manner did he summon me? That's all that's left in the sentence. He summoned me quam celeri me, as quickly as possible. When you have the word quam, which sometimes can mean than or how, when you've got it in front of an adverb like this, you make it like as blank as possible. So since celeri me means quickly, quam celeri me, as quickly as possible, ad villam suam, to his house. Villam ingressus, memorem perterritum inveni. Here it is, look, this is what we've been working on so much. OR, look at that dictionary entry, OR. I hope by now you look at that and you say, oh, OR means deponent. And if it's a deponent, then the past participle of a deponent verb is active. Ingressus, if the verb means to enter, ingressus means having entered. And because it's an active past participle, it can take an object. Having entered the house. Memorem. Now, I hope by now you look at the word memorem and you know, well, look, I've got an accusative ending. I sure shouldn't start here. If I start here, the whole sentence is going to turn into a disaster. What I need to do instead is find the main verb, inveni. And remember what we just discussed. When a perfect tense verb has an I ending, it means I did the action. Having entered the house, I found Memor, and then perterritum tells us the state in which he found Memor. I found Memor terrified. Numquam Memorem adeo perterritum videram. Once again, we can go ahead and translate the word numquam. It just means never. But when you see the accusative here, do not start your translation here. I hear students so often, unfortunately, take an accusative and then they start translating word by word and then they say, this makes no sense. The answer is, it will make no sense if you do that, but you shouldn't do that. You should instead run to your verb, which again is so often at the end of the sentence. Never videram. Now, here we have a pluperfect ending. Videram, never had I seen. Now you can take your object. Never had I seen Memor. Now, the only thing added from the previous sentence is the word adeo, which means like so something. Never had I seen Memor so terrified. Memor mihi. Imperator mortem Cogidubne cupit, inquit, iubeo te hanc rem administrare. Now what we're going to want to do here, inquit means said, okay? And it's going to go with mihi. So together, these three words, memor, mihi, inquit, this is kind of like just the narrative tag, okay? Memor said to me. But feel free to move inquit out of there. Latin puts the word inquit after the quote begins, but that's not a good place in English to have it. So move inquit over to here. Memor said to me, and now we continue the quote, and we'll be ignoring inquit when we get to it because we've already moved it over here. Memor said to me, the emperor, cupit. We just had this. He wants. What does he want? He wants a thing. The emperor wants the death. He wants the death Cogidubne. This I is a genitive singular. Genitive means of or apostrophe s. The emperor wants the death of Cogidubnus. Now you could have said Cogidubnus's death. You could have done that. Now we continue the quote. Iubeo te. I order you. What I order you is to do something. Here's our infinitive. I order you to take care of this matter. Iubeo te venenum parare. Once again, I order you. Run to the end, find your infinitive. This is what I order you to do. I order you to prepare poison. Tibi necesse est eum interficere. Now, when we first learned things like necesse est, facile est, difficile est, the dative was always after the word est. Remember, like necesse est mihi, decorum est tibi. So the fact that tibi comes first really doesn't matter. This is the same statement as necesse est tibi. It is necessary for you, and here is what it is necessary for you to do. It is necessary for you to kill him. Scripsi tamen hanc epistulam et servo fideli tradidi. Here again, these I's on a perfect tense verb, these are I did the action. So the first action that I did, however, I wrote, however, tamen. What did I write? Here's your direct object. I, however, or I wrote, however, this letter, and tradidi. I handed it over. Who did I hand it over to? Here are some dative endings. On a second declension noun, the O is dative. On a third declension adjective, the I is dative. But these two words, go together. Even though they don't have the same ending, they do have the same case. I wrote, however, this letter, and I handed it over servo fideli, to a faithful slave. Iussi servum tibi epistulam tradere. Here again, iussi, I ordered. I ordered the slave. Here's what I ordered the slave to do. I ordered the slave to hand over tibi epistulam, the letter to you. Memor nocens est. Memor is guilty. Memor Cogidubne hanc rem efficere. Memor forced me. And again, here's what Memor forced me to do, the infinitive. Memor forced me hanc rem efficere, to carry out this matter. Final sentence. Memorem non me punire debis. Again, don't start here. This is an accusative. This is going to be the object of a verb. Don't start here. Run to the end of the sentence. Debis. You look it up. Debeo means I owe, as in I owe money, or I ought to do something, or should do something. Here we have the S ending, so this means you. So debes, you should, and here's what you should do. You should punish Memor, not me. Okay, so again, this lesson is for your whole week. This was a little longer than last week because you only met last week on Tuesday and Thursday. Now you're going to meet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. There's no mini Socrative today. Just spend some time studying this video. Again, take the time to attempt your own translation first, and then watch this video. Review it over and over again. There will be a mini Socrative on Wednesday with 4 questions just to test your progress. And then on Friday, there will be the full Socrative. The 4 questions from Wednesday will still be there, and there will be additional questions. And again, I implore you, please come into the Google Meet and ask me questions. I'm more than happy to walk you through all the questions that you have wrong. I can see the ones you have wrong before you hit submit, and I would like nothing more than to talk you through them and have you submit a perfect Socrative, because thereby you will have learned. Have a good week, students.